Already recording. Okay. So how are we gonna, am I calling you Andre or are we gonna go with a different name?
Everything
Because
good.
I'll have already set this up.
It doesn't matter, whatever you want to do. Andre or
Okay.
yeah, I would say whatever the script says. So it
Okay.
just in
Right.
case.
So it just flows. Okay. All right. Oops. All right. Hi, Joe. Glad we finally got to meet each other in a Zoom meeting, right? So, um, tell me a little bit about yourself and then I'll explain what all we're going to go over today.
Sure. I mean, I'm 22. My name's Joe. Just recently got married, but that's about pretty much it.
Oh yeah, just got married, huh? Y'all known each other long?
Not really about a year.
About a year. And what's her name?
Addie.
Addie?
Yes.
Awesome. So Joe, what do you do for a living?
I sell cars.
Sell cars.
Yeah.
Oh, and does Addie work?
Stay at home mom.
Stay at home mom. Oh, so y'all already have children.
Yeah.
How many?
Just one for right now.
Oh yeah, how old is she? He or she, I should say.
He's two.
Two. Is he into his terrible twos stage yet?
Um, Nah, but to be honest, pretty lucky. He's
Awesome.
sleeps all day type of. He's just like me.
It just like you. I tell my students or my former students when I taught that that's God's way of convincing you to have another one.
Right.
So, all right, a little bit about myself. I told you that I work for Globe and I'm handling your union benefits. But a little bit of background is I come from a teaching background in that I taught for 20 years. Stepped out of education, went into this because it still gives me that venue of being able to help people.
Mm.
And more specifically, here we're going to go over your no cost benefits. And once we review them, you should receive them in the mail in the next 14 days or so, maybe a little longer with the whole Microsoft glitch, 10 days ago. So your first no cost benefit is our Child Safe ID kit. Now, this is endorsed by the International Union of Police Associations. You said you have a child, so do you know other families that have children?
Um, yeah, I mean, her mom has some like 3-year-old twins too, and uh, that's pretty. I mean, that's pretty much it. Because usually people my age don't have kids, but
All right, so I'm going to play a short video for you, kind of explains what the Child Safe Kit does and how it works. Play it. All right, now, so can you see how that app would be a benefit to have all the details already in it? And if something were to happen to your child, be able to send it out to the police in an instant push of a button.
yeah, yeah, it'll be fast.
Awesome. Okay, so now your second no cost benefit is your AIL Plus card. Now, as you know, group benefits can change or be taken away because you don't own the rights to those. The company you work for does, right? And the AIL Plus card is what we call a gap filler, and it's designed to provide discounts where you either don't have current insurance coverage or where the card could actually give you bigger discounts than your health insurance card does. Kind of like the GoodRx commercials you see on TV. So our AIL Plus card can give you up to 60% discount on things like eye care, hearing aids, prescription drug, chiropractic service, dentals, visits, and even includes a $38 virtual doctor's office visit. I don't know about you, But I think that's pretty interesting knowing that I can get some eye care and some dental extras, because my insurance doesn't cover that. Does yours? Do you know?
Oh, and you said that's free?
No, I mean your current one with your job.
Okay.
Because you're a car salesman. Do you guys have health insurance there?
Nah, no, not at all.
No. Well, so this will help in those, especially when baby boy gets sick and you need some antibiotics or something. You should be able to get some benefits off of our AIL Plus card. All right, so we're gonna need to make sure to get a we need to double check your email address when we get to that spot here in a minute when we get all the extra information, because this one will be sent to your email for registration. Okay, so be on the lookout for that email. All right. The next benefit that's of no cost to you is the accidental death and dismemberment benefit. Now, this benefit is a $2,000 benefit, Joe, and it's going to pay $1,000 if you were to lose the loss of your hand, a foot, or eyesight in one eye. Now, if you were to lose any combination of the two, it pays $2,000. And if you get in an accident and you die, it pays $2,000. Now, I know that Joe, $2,000 isn't a whole lot of money, especially in today's world, but um, if you were to lose your income, this $2,000 would help Addie at least until she gets through the funeral services and gets, her head wrapped around things that she's going to have to do now that you're not around. So, is Addie going to be your beneficiary, or do you want to leave that $2,000 to someone else?
We'll be at it.
Okay. All right. So, Addie's birthday
May 25th,
of what year?
3,
I'm sorry, of what year?
23. Or
Okay.
I'm sorry, not 23. 203, 2003.
2003. Okay, I gotcha. All right. And what's a good contact for her phone number?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 7, 7.
Awesome. All right. Now, the company does ask that we get 2 emergency contacts that live outside of the home, and in Texas and are over the age of 18. Now, this is just in case something will happen to you at the same time, and let's say you passed away, but Addie was injured to the point of being incapacitated where she couldn't make phone calls. This would allow those 2 emergency contacts to be able to take care of that for you. So, who's your first emergency contact?
The Eddie Holland.
Okay.
And,
And what's a good contact number for Eddie?
I'm sorry.
What's a good contact number for Eddie?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 6, 0, 9.
All right. And your second contact? Oh, sorry. Hold on a second. What's your
I'm sorry, you cut off a little bit. What was that?
What's your relationship to Eddie?
Oh, he's my father.
Okay. And who's your second Uh-oh. Hold on just a second. Are you there? My
Yeah.
internet's cutting in and out.
I got you.
Okay. All right. So who's your second contact?
My second contact would be Norma, Linda.
All right. And Norma,
Her phone
relationship?
number- Oh, her relationship is aunt of Addie, so like aunt of wife, I guess.
Okay. All right. And a good contact number for Norma.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 4, 0, 3.
All right. Okay, so that takes care of our emergency contacts with your AD&D. Now, it's nice that the union set these no-cost benefits up for you, right, Joe?
Um, yeah, I mean they're free, so that's always cool.
All right, so now I do have to ask that you make some contact with your 2 emergency contacts. Let them know that we'll be calling because they're going to be able to receive these exact same no-cost benefits through you. Okay. Again, I just ask that you give them a heads up. Let them know that I'll be calling to deliver these benefits. All right. And since you liked the benefits, is there anyone else you want to have access to this?
Not that I can think of at the top of my head.
Okay, well, we have some time at the end that if you think of anybody between now and then, you're more than welcome to add to the list, okay?
Mhm.
All right, so the second part of our program includes the benefits that you might qualify for. All right, so for me to get credit for doing my job, I'm going to take a few extra minutes and review everything with you, Joe. All right, so whatever you do today is totally up to you. I just have to explain them to you and then I'll be on my way. All right. So just so you know, it isn't just your group, all right, that works with us. There's actually over 20,000 different credit unions, and associations that have partnered with us on these benefits. And whether you like unions or not, right, whether we're talking police, fire, teacher, steel worker, that or whether you like them or not, right? Everyone can agree that they do have some of the best benefits. All right. Now, first thing that we have to do is we have to fill out the final no cost benefit is our needs analysis survey. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill out a few questions. Okay, Joe, that might this is going to decide whether or not you qualify for these extra benefits and to find out if there's a need anywhere. All right. All right, so this screen is our mandatory read off letter. And instead of reading the whole thing, let me just explain it to you. Is that okay? It'll speed things up where we don't have to go over every single word on this screen.
Sure.
Sound good?
Yeah.
All right, so basically what it says is that if, as I'm going through these benefits, you're nodding your head and you're thinking to yourself, well, these are great benefits. And I can see why they've approved these and why everybody's doing them. And go ahead and let's apply today, okay? On the flip side, if as I'm going through these benefits, Joe, you're thinking to yourself, you know, these really aren't a great benefit for myself and my family right now, then I'm going to ask that you not apply today, okay? Either way, yes or no, that decision does have to be made today during your service period, which is right now, okay? Just for fairness to everybody else that's on the waiting list to get enrolled. Does that make sense, Joe?
Yeah.
All right. Now, whether you decide to, whatever you decide to do today, okay, the company still wants your opinion in a Google review once I'm finished. I do want to do my job to the best of my ability, and I want to get a 5-star rating. So all I ask that you do is if you have any questions, you need any clarification, please stop me so that I can clarify as we go. Sound like a plan?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Now, because we work with unions, all these different unions have people that have gotten together and they've come up with a list of concerns. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you because I want you to see the list of concerns. Oh, I can't share my screen because you have the recording. All right, so if you, so the first list of concerns, the first thing that they found is that excuse me, that co-pays, deductibles, and loss of wages were the main concern for families. Health insurance does pay the doctors, but members that lose wages due to time off, that's an out-of-pocket expense, right? They're not getting any money, so that's a concern. The second concern is the funeral and final expenses. Many families don't have the $14,000 that it takes for final expenses here in Texas. And funeral homes want their money right away, right? So that's a concern with a family member, specifically a loss of a family member. The third one is paycheck loss. When a member dies, their paycheck dies with them. There's no way, Joe, for them to keep getting that money, right? Once the member doesn't go to work, there's no money coming in. A fourth one was what is the mortgage and rent. Families lose their home after a sudden death of the breadwinner a lot of the times, and so family members really don't want to, have to pick up and move. The fifth concern was children's protection. Benefits provided through the job are typically not permanent for the children, which can create a risk. An unexpected death could jeopardize the future education opportunities of those children. So that's a concern. Another concern is terminal illness, especially cancer. According to the American Cancer Society, men have a 1 in 2 or a 50% chance of developing or even dying from cancer. Now, women, it's 1 in 3 until they reach the age of 65, and then they're also at a 1 to 2. And the medical expenses for this are causing a lot of bankruptcy, right? Because in the United States, it's so expensive. And if you don't have, you don't have coverage, it can cut into your pocketbook. The seventh benefit is the group benefits. They're great, but they can change at any time. And members lose benefits at retirement unless they're a member of a union. And if they experience a long illness right before death, sometimes they lose coverage there as well. Now, the last one is affordability. And affordability is a large concern as well. Now, we sit down with people that make $7 an hour. We sit with some that make $77 an hour. Some are working a ton of overtime. Some may have just gotten laid off. And the company wanted this to be affordable for everyone. So, Joe, let's imagine that your boss comes up to you tomorrow at work and tells you that because business is great, the company's actually going to start paying you for 41 hours instead of 40. Now, that 1 hour, are you and Addie going to be able to go buy matching Ferraris?
No,
What about starting construction on your dream home?
no.
No, of course not, right? Now let's look at the flip side of that. Let's say that your boss comes to you and tells you that things are getting really slow, but they've come up with a plan, and instead of laying you and your coworkers off, they're actually just going to send everyone home an hour early on Friday. So instead of 40 hours, now you're working 39. Would you have to get rid of your cable because of that 1 hour loss of wage?
Nah, it's not that bad.
All right, would you have to cancel dentist appointments for the baby or take food off your table for you?
Nah.
Exactly. An hour adjustment doesn't really change anything. So let me go ahead and complete your needs analysis and review what it recommends.
Right.
All right, so let's review the options using an illustration. And let's say that at your current job, we'll call this job A. With job A, you're making $1,050 per week, and you get your normal group benefits. Imagine that tomorrow you go into work and another job comes open. We'll call this job B. With this job, you get the exact same benefits you have, and you have the same responsibility, same coworkers, same everything. But in job B, you're going to make $1,020 per week, or about an hour's wage difference, which, like you said before, would be pretty much the same. But that 1 hour is going to eliminate all your concerns. Okay. All right. So have you ever thought about what might happen if you or someone in your household is injured or in the hospital for an accident?
Uh, no, we go
Okay,
and get checked out.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, like, I mean, when something happens with an accident, we just go and get checked out, I guess.
Okay, so here's what's really nice. Your benefit will, because of your benefit, you're going to receive up to $100 every time you get hurt. Okay, and now the key is you do have to go get it checked out by a doctor. $200 is what you can get if you have to spend a night in the hospital every single time. Okay, if you have an accident. All right, so let's say that you were in the hospital for 5 days. $200 a day for 5 days, that's $1,000. If it was a bad accident, Joe, and you were in intensive care, you'd receive $400 a night. Every member of your household is covered by this benefit, and the money goes to you directly. Okay, it's tax free and it's not to the doctors, it's to you. In addition, if you lost a hand, a foot, or eyesight in one eye, you'd actually receive $10,000 and double that, $20,000, right? For the loss of any two of those. And on top of all of that, you would also receive $20,000 to $100,000 for accidental death, depending on the type of accident. If you're just in a regular car, that would be that 20,000. But if you were in that common carrier, like we talked about earlier, say you were on a bus transport and you were killed there, that's where that $100,000 would come in, like we were talking about earlier. Now, we call this benefit Get Hurt, Get Paid. Okay. And it gives you a full circle of protection when accidents happen. So, Joe, can you see why they thought every family should have this?
Yeah, because people get hurt.
Absolutely. People get hurt, and most of the time, people don't get paid. But with us, you do. All right. Your next gap that the needs analysis found is freedom of choice. Now, the average funeral, like I talked about earlier, is $14,000. Joe, who's going to take care of that when you pass?
Probably my wife.
Exactly. Addie's going to be responsible for that. Well, freedom of choice is the certificate that's been set up to take care of that burden for Addie. All right. And to make sure that she knows and you know exactly how much you're covered for. So we're going to talk about that. Make sure you understand how this protection works. All right. So both you and Addie have $20,000 of coverage for freedom of choice. Now, what that means is that if you pass away, Addie's going to go to the funeral home. She's going to talk to the funeral home director, present him with her certificate. Now, it's important that you guys don't tell them how much coverage you have. You just tell him that you have coverage, okay? And once everything's filled out and done, he's going to call the number on the certificate and send his invoice to them. Then they're going to cover, freedom of choice is going to cover the expenses. All right. And because this is funded by a whole life insurance, it's going to pay out from day one. What's also nice about this is that if you don't spend it all, the rest of it is a check directly to you. All right. Now, we know there's 100% chance that your family will need this benefit. Joe, can you see how important it is to give your family peace of mind?
Yeah, yeah, especially because I mean, they're probably gonna be dealing with loss and then money too. So
Absolutely. So we want to make sure that we have this one in. Now, our next one is income protection. If you lost your income for 2 weeks, would that make things tighter?
yeah,
Right? What about if you lost it for 2 months or even forever?
I'd be in a lot of debt.
Exactly. And that's why they wanted to make sure that your income is protected when you die. So if you let's say you're making $3,000 still a month, right? So our benefit for that is $108,000, which would mean that when you pass, Addie would get $3,000 a month for 36 months. Now, right now, if you were to die, your paycheck dies with you, correct?
Right.
Right. So if we do the income protection, we're guaranteeing that Addie has a paycheck for 36 months after you pass. The next benefit you actually apply for is the mortgage protection. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to be funded by your accidental death benefit. Okay, remember, if you die during your working years, like it's going to be likely due to an accident, because very few people die during their working years and it be something that they, got sick from. Okay, usually it's an accident. All right. So this accidental death benefit is actually going to help cover your mortgage. All right. Now, we said earlier that you guys owed 120,000 and you had another 15 years to pay that off. Well, the software is going to is showing a gap there. So that's going to give you Addie 120,000 when you pass. So now that we've covered the biggest three concerns, we've talked about funeral, we've talked about income, and we've talked about home protection. All right. Now, the next one is children's education. Your sweet little baby boy who's 2 is a long time from going to college, but statistically, those with a college degree earn $1 million more in a lifetime than those without college. And if you want your little boy to go to school, if something happens, that's going to prevent your little boy from getting to go to college, right?
Right.
Unless you have funds set up already. Right. So the software is showing that you have $30,000 set aside for a college education. Okay, so if you pass away, your child will receive that so that they can go to school. Can you see how grateful your little boy will be knowing that you were thinking of him while you were getting this set up?
Yeah, you don't gotta get student loans and stuff.
Absolutely. Another one that we have is our child rider. You do have a child, right? So we're going to add that to our group benefits because it's a rider, $625 a month. It's not much, but it protects your child for $10,000. Okay, until they reach 18. Excuse me. Yes, till they're 18. Now at age 21, you can bump that up. Okay, to up to $50,000, and it goes into their name. Now, can you see the children that your child is protected if something happens to you, and that he's protected in case something happens to them as well? So it's a full protection, so full circle of protection.
Right.
Now, the next one is terminal illness. And I don't know about you, but the word cancer just freaks me out and it sends chills up and down my spine. And like I discussed earlier, men have a 50% chance of getting cancer. Women's is a little bit less. It's 1 in 3 until they hit 65, and then they have 50% just like men. And cancer is the leading cause of bankruptcy of any disease in the United States. So we have a terminal illness rider. Okay. And what this is going to allow is we're going to get half of your freedom of choice, which was 30,000. So we're going to get 15,000 from that. And your income protection was 108,000 over 3 years. So that's 39,000. Excuse me. That's 54,000. So if you were to get a terminal illness, you would receive $69,000 up front for you to use before you die, right? Whether it's to pay bills, maybe you go on a trip, You can use the money however you want at that time. What's really nice about our group benefits is that while you're working, Joe, the group benefits can be taken away by your employer at any time. And especially this happens a lot at retirement. It could also happen if you become an employee or if you have long illness before your death. Our benefits are portable and permanent, which means that if you have a layoff, that your benefits will be paid for up to 3 months. And if there's a strike, these benefits will be paid up to 12 months. Could you see how having these benefits that nobody can take away is huge for your family?
Yeah.
All right, so we finished our illustration, Joe. Let's look at what we have. If we were to look at job A versus job B, and you went into work tomorrow and you had to choose, which one would you choose? A or B?
B for sure.
And why would you do that if you're making more money in A?
It's not that much of a difference, and like you get a whole bunch of stuff with the other one.
Exactly. That's what everyone says. The company set this up to be a no-brainer. Like I said before, you do need to qualify for these benefits. So I need to ask you a few health questions to see where you're at. Okay, now I'm not the underwriter, but based on what I'm seeing here, it does look like you should be able to qualify for the benefits. Now, this is the QR checklist, which is a mandatory checklist that we review with all the members, Joe, and it explains the enrollment process. The first thing the checklist talks about is the way the benefits are handled.
Okay.
Okay, do you think I did a good job today, Joe?
Yeah, you explained everything clear.
Okay, and how would you rate me on 1 to 5 scale?
Yeah, 5. It was quick too.
Thank you. This is why I do what I do. I love to support families. And so, if you don't mind, this is how I support my family. If you would help me out by giving me oh, wow, I butchered that. This is what I do to support my family, and I'd like you to your help since you said I did a great job. Aside from the emergency contacts you gave me earlier, remember I told you we'd circle back around. Is there anyone else you'd like to give the option to of receiving these benefits?
We choose my mother-in-law. Her name is Crystal, and then her number is Crystal Chapa, and then her number is 222 and then we could do uh my brother Adim Habrigi, and then his number is 22345678 9. Then we can do you do my wife's cousin, Christina
Sure.
Rodriguez, and her number is 956-705-0602. And that's about everything. That's about everybody I could think of, to be honest.
Okay, perfect. Now, remember, it's no cost to you and to them. If you could just be sure and let them know that I'll be calling. And I really do appreciate you for helping me out. All right. Okay, so Joe, Addie, almost everyone takes advantage of this program. Just like you, because of the value and the cost, it's very small compared to the many benefits. Now, it's very rare, but sometimes a member cancels. Could be a week, a month, or even a year later. And we end up seeing these same people the next service period, 2 or 3 years later, right? And they're usually really upset because they no longer. Okay, so I'm not the underwriter, but based on what I'm seeing here, it looks like you should be able to qualify for the benefits. Now, this is the QR checklist, which is a mandatory checklist that we review with all the members. It explains the enrollment process. And the first thing the checklist talks about is the way the benefits are handled. And this program is set up on a once a month computerized deduction through your banking system. Having it done this way is what gives you and gains you this discounted rate. Now, your program is $129 per month, and this can be handled anytime between the 29th and the 12th. What date is best for you?
Um, wait, one, you said it was 129?
Yes, 129. Now remember, this was based on 1 hour's wage per week. So that averages out to be $42.50 a week. Now, didn't we agree earlier that 1 hour's wage didn't matter much?
Okay, I get you.
Okay, so what date? So are you sure 130 is okay or 129?
I think I can, I think I can push it.
Okay, so what date would work best for you?
Um, honestly, probably around this, around like the 30th of every month, 29th, 30th, around every month.
Okay, so do you want it on the 29th or the 30th? Because I don't want to take any food off the table for you and your children.
Okay, I'll do it, just today, just so that it can
On the
match.
29th. Okay. And again, 129 is good for you on the 20th. I mean 29th.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So we've got you set up for all your benefits at 129 a month, and our draft date is going to be on the 29th. All right. So do you think I did a good job?
Yeah,
On a scale of 1 to 5, how do you think I did?
I would say, yeah, I mean, I would say 5, we got it done. I know what I have. Um, so stuff I didn't know about that was important. So yeah, I'm very happy.
Great. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now, this is what I do to support my family, and I'd like your help since you said I did a great job. Aside from your emergency contacts you gave me earlier, remember I told you we'd circle back around? Um, who else can we give this option to receive these benefits?
Um, we could do, we could do, we could do my brother, Harim Howdigi, his number is boom. And then we can do, um, Addie's mom, Crystal Chapa, her number is boom. And then, um, we can do, oh, we could do my girl's, cousin, Christina, Christina Chapa, and then her number is boom, boom, boom as well. And then, I think that's, I mean, I don't really know a lot of people. I think that's pretty much it.
That's totally fine. These, 3 is great. 3 more. So remember, this is a no cost to you, Joe, and to them. Okay. So it just gives them the opportunity to make the decision if they want them. And you'd be really helping me out. So I really do appreciate that. Again, please let them know I'll be calling so they don't think I'm some weirdo calling.
Okay, I got
All
you.
right. Joe, Addie, almost everyone takes advantage of this program. And like you, because of the value and the cost is very small compared to the many benefits. Now, it's very rare, but sometimes a member does cancel. Could be a week, a month, or even a year later. But we end up seeing these same people the next service period about 2 to 3 years later. And they're upset because they're no further ahead than what they were. Most people end up wanting to reapply for the benefits. The problem is now the program is more expensive because they're older. Or worse yet, some people can't even get it anymore because their health has changed. The point is that this is not a short term fix, it's a long term solution. And the longer you're in the program, the more valuable it is. So if this 129 is uncomfortable for you right now, let's fix it. Okay, while I'm here. So, how does everything feel, Joe?
Yeah, no, to be honest, I was thinking that um maybe the 129 wouldn't wouldn't be so like it would maybe just be a little bit too much. I mean, I just don't want to risk it, I guess you could say.
Okay. So, where would be a good spot for you? What would you feel comfortable paying?
I don't think we're too far off. I think around that I don't know.
Okay,
It's just
so
one of those
let
things.
me let me change a few things here. What about 110 a month? Would that be comfortable?
Yeah, I think I'd feel way more comfortable with that.
Okay, perfect and good. All right, now please make sure this important program stays in place for your family. And the next time I see you, you'll be really happy you did. All right. We need to do the Google review. So I'm going to show you a QR code if you don't mind going in and reviewing me.
Okay. Yeah, I went ahead and filled it out. I think it should send right now. That's fine.
Perfect. Thank you so much. All right, Joe. If that's all you've got for me, got any questions? Or are we good?
You got any questions, Addie?
Perfect. Thank you guys. It was nice meeting you. Um, keep my number if you have any questions. Feel free to reach out, okay?
Yes, Amanda. Thank you.